Making decisions and solving problems are two key areas in life, whether you are at home or at work. Whatever you're doing or wherever you are, you're faced with countless decisions and problems, both small and large, every day. Although there is a clear distinction between problem solving and decision making, the two are often confused. Problem solving differs fundamentally from decision making. A problem occurs when something is not behaving as it should, something is deviating from the norm, or something goes wrong. Example, my car has a flat tire. Decision making is a case of choosing between different alternatives. Example, which model of car should I choose between 3 options? In this 3-part video series, we will address in part 1, what is problem solving and decision making and how to make effective decisions. In part 2, what are some of the popular decision making models? And in part 3, an example of good decision making model, namely the Kepner-Trego model. And many decisions and problems are so small that we may not even notice them. Large and small decisions. In our day-to-day life, you are likely to encounter numerous small decisions, including, for example, tea or coffee, what shall I wear today? Or larger decisions may occur less frequently, but may include, should I change my job? Should I propose to my partner? Do I really want to spend the rest of my life with him or her? Which country should we make a market entry? Or the city for a launch of a new product? These decisions and others like them may take considerable time and effort to make. They are the sort of decisions that involve uncertainty, that is, many of the facts may be unknown, complexity, that is, there are many interrelated factors to consider, high-risk consequences, that is, the impact of the decision may be significant, alternatives. There may be various alternatives, each with its own set of uncertainties and consequences. Interpersonal issues. You need to predict how different people will react. Perhaps they evaluated from a financial perspective, but didn't think about how people would react to it. Maybe they got excited about the potential of the idea, but had not considered the risks. Or perhaps the decision was championed by the dominant member of the decision-making group, and other group members didn't feel confident enough to argue. There are many factors to consider when you make a decision, and it's easy to miss something important. A simple checklist we have created that helps you avoid this, which we call a systematic approach to making decisions. And it requires you to follow these 7 steps. 1. Identify the problem. 2. Potential causes. 3. Explore the alternatives. 4. Select the best approach. 5. Plan the implementation. 6. Monitor the implementation. And 7. Verify the outcome. So let's look at each one of them separately. Identify the problem. With input from yourself and others, ask the following questions. What can you see that causes you to think there is a problem? Where is it happening? How is it happening? When is it happening? Why is it happening? With whom is it happening? Define complex problems. If the problem still seems overwhelming, break it down by repeating steps 1 to 7 until you have descriptions of several related problems. Verify your understanding of the problems. It helps a great deal to verify your problem analysis for conferring with a peer or someone else. Prioritize the problems. If you discover that you're looking at several related problems, then prioritize which ones you should address first. Note the difference between important and urgent problems. Often what we consider to be important problems to consider are really just urgent problems. Important problems deserve more attention. Second, look at potential causes of the problem. It is amazing how much we don't know about what we don't know. Therefore, it is critical to get input from other people who notice the problem and who are affected by it. It is often useful to collect input from other individuals one at a time. Otherwise, people tend to be inhibited about offering their impressions of the real causes of problems. Third, identify alternatives for approaches to resolve the problem. At this point, it's useful to keep others involved unless you're facing a personal and/or employee performance problem. There are many methods listed which we will take up in a later episode in the following two videos. 4. Select an approach to resolve the problem. When selecting the best approach, consider which approach is most likely to solve the problem for the long term. Which approach is most realistic to accomplish for now? Do you have the resources? Are they affordable? Do you have enough time to implement the approach? When selecting the best approach, consider what is the extent of the risk associated with each alternative. Fifth, plan the implementation of the best alternative. This is your action plan. First, carefully consider what will the situation look like when the problem is solved. Second, what steps should be taken to implement the best alternative to solving the problem? What systems or processes should be changed in your organization? Third, how will you know if the steps are being followed or not? These are your indicators of success of your plan. Fourth, what resources will you need in terms of people, money, and facilities? Fifth, how much time will you need to implement the solution? Write a schedule that includes the start and stop times and when you expect to see certain indicators of success. 6. Who will primarily be responsible for ensuring implementation of the plan? 7. Write down the answers to the above question and consider this as your action plan. And 8. Communicate the plan to those who will be involved in implementing it to your immediate supervisor. An important aspect of this step in the problem-solving process is continuous observation and feedback. 6. Monitor implementation of the plan. Monitor the indicators of success. 1. Are you seeing what you expect from the indicators? 2. Will the plan be done according to schedule? 3. If the plan is not being followed as expected, then consider, was the plan realistic? Are there sufficient resources to accomplish the plan on schedule? Should more priority be placed on various aspects of the plan? Or should the plan be changed? And 7. Verify if the problem has been resolved or not. One of the best ways to verify if a problem has been solved or not is to resume normal operations in the organization. Still, you should consider 1. What changes should be made to avoid this type of problem in the future? Consider changes to policies and procedures, training, etc. Second, lastly, consider what did you learn from this problem solving? New knowledge, understanding, and/or skills. 3. Consider writing a brief memo highlights the success of problem-solving effort and learned as a result. Share it with your supervisor, peers, and subordinates. This brings us to the end of the first part on the steps to solve problems and make effective decisions. In the next two parts, we will look at various decision-making models and understand one good and useful model, namely the Kepner-Trego decision-making model. Thank you.